Okay, to do your homework, you're going to have to navigate two applications. First of all, your browser, and second of all, MATLAB. So go in here, and if you type in MATLAB Grader, this is where your homework assignments are located. So you'll just click on that and log in. That should get you in here. Then you probably won't have all of these courses. You'll just have CS Challenge 2022. So if you click on that, that will bring you here. You probably will not see all these problems anymore or all these assignments anymore because I've gone through and changed the date so you can only see the ones that are open for this particular assignment period. So I'm going to click on, I think the ones that you're going to see now for the first homework assignment are going to be HWO1 variables and functions level 1, HWO1 variables and functions level 2, HWO1 variables and functions level 3. Okay, and so you're going to click on let's start on level 1. If you click on that, it brings up this page here, and I'm going to walk you through this here. You can read it, but I'll walk you through it. This is the first homework assignment. It may seem overwhelming, especially if this is your first experience coding, but don't worry. The process of completing homework assignments will be consistent and you'll get the hang of it quickly. What you do is you choose which problems you want to answer in level 1, level 2, and level 3 based on the grading method discussed below. So I am not assigning you definite problems. I'm giving you a whole bunch of problems, and you get to choose which problems you want to grade. You want to do. And then the ones you don't do, you could use later for test preparation and practice. So the way it works is level 1 problems are basic to the concept of what we're doing. Level 2 problems require a little bit more skill, and level 3 problems require you to do even more synthesis and understanding to get your solution. So they're sort of ranked that way. So the way you do this is you're going to click on and read the problem in MATLAB Grader, decide if you want to do it or not. You're encouraged to code and test and save your solutions in MATLAB. And then once you've read the problem in MATLAB Grader, solved it in MATLAB, then copy and paste your answer from MATLAB into MATLAB Grader. And this will make sense when I show you the example. And then, of course, as I said in class, I recommend you making a folder for each homework assignment. I'll show you that in my example as well. And so that's the mode that we're going to do this, and I'll once again show you in this example. The way the assignments are graded, note that the number of problems in each level and the maximum score may vary from assignment to assignment. So from homework to homework, the maximum score might not be 16, but in this case it will be 16. However, the method of calculating your score will be the same. So in this particular homework, for homework 1, there are 10 level 1 problems, and they're worth 1 point each. There are 9 level 2 problems worth 2 points each, and there are 4 level 3 problems worth 4 points each. Right? You must do at least one problem from each level to receive any credit. So you got to do at least one level 1, one level 2, one level 3. If you did all level 2s or all level 3s and no level 1s, you will get no credit for this. You will get a 0 on this homework assignment. So please follow the instructions. You'll have, for each problem, you'll have a limit of 7 attempts to get it right. And I'll explain that once again when I show you here. And based on, like for homework 2, it might not be 7 attempts. I might change that number. For right now, it's 7 attempts. And you'll see that's a pretty fair number once you see how this all works. For each problem, there are 4 test criteria. If you get all 4 of those right, then you get maximum points for that problem. If you get 3 of those 4 right, then you get 3/4 of the points for that problem. If you get 2 of them right, you get half the points. 1 of them right, you get 1/4 of the points. And if you get none of the the turn-in submission test solutions correct, then you will get no points. And once again, I'll explain that. It'll become more clear when I show you the example. What we're going to do is we'll take the total number of points you earn by doing your level 1, level 2, level 3 problems. We'll take all of that and we'll divide by 16, right, which is the maximum number of points you can get, right? So if you get 16 points and we divide by 16, we'll multiply that by 100, and you got 100 for this homework assignment. If you got 8 points, we divide by 16, then you get, and multiply by 100, you get 50 points for this homework assignment. You can do more than 16 points. And if you do more than 16 points, all the way, it will give you extra percentage points all the way up to 120%, right? So if you do, if we take your score and divide it by, or the number of points you did divided by 16, you can get all the way, and multiply by 100, you can get all the way up to 120%, right? Which is based on how we calculate, or how I'm going to calculate your score in this class, can give you an extra half letter grade or 5 bonus points as we go forward. Now, I know that's confusing and everybody starts, oh, I get bonus points. How does that work? Just do the math here, right? If you do more than 16 points on this homework assignment, you can get extra credit all the way up to 120%, right? So that's about 19.2 points. So if you do if you get 19.2 points or above, you'll get 120%, okay, for this particular homework assignment. All right, and there are band functions because we want you to do this a certain way. Don't worry about those in this particular homework assignment, but I'll talk more about band functions next week in class. All right, I think the best thing for me to do now is to show you an example. So I'm going to click a problem over here and then do an example, and that way you'll get a better idea of how this works. So here we go. I'm going to choose, so I'm going to come here and I'll just do a level 1 problem, for example, here. So I'll click on variable homework, HWO1-variables and functions level 1, and I'll choose a level 1 problem here. I'm going to choose, let's go sum up, and I'll choose that. And then what shows here, and let me do learner preview so it shows me what you're seeing. You'll see something that looks like this. You'll see the problem, the function name. This is just like the example we did in class, or just like the examples that we did in class. Function name, so that's what you have to name your function. You have to name it this or you're going to get it wrong, okay? And then you're going to get your inputs in. You're going to get 4 numbers. These are all doubles, so they're numbers. And then your output's going to be a double as well. It's going to be the sum of these 4 inputs. And then the function description is write a function called SumUp that takes in 4 numbers and outputs the sum of all of the numbers. Okay. What we give you here are examples, right? So we give you examples so that you can try your code out. So in the process that I talked about in class, the 6-step process, I talked about testing. So these are some tests that we give you so that you can test your code, right? You can come up with others, that kind of thing. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to program in MATLAB, which I'll do here in a second, right? And then you can call your code using my examples here. Right, so this is the preliminary test before you get ready to submit it. This allows you to try it out before you get ready to submit it, right? And so I'm going to program the function. I'm going to put the function, copy and paste it in here, and then I'll hit run function, and it'll show me how my function does against the tests that are here, okay, which are the same as the tests that are up here. And so I know the answers that I'm supposed to get. Then, once you feel comfortable with that, then you're going to hit submit. And that's going to submit your code, and it's going to run it against my four evaluation tests, right? My 4 evaluation tests are similar to the examples, but they are not exactly like the examples. That prevents you from doing what we call hard coding and making your code just to get the right answer for these examples. Your code should work for any valid input that are, in this case, 4 numbers, right? The code for this problem should work for any 4 numbers, right? Not just the 4 that I do in the example. So I give you the examples to practice, and you can hit run function to practice. But when you're ready to submit, when you hit submit, then you're going to run it against these 4 test evaluators. And depending on how many of these you get right, that's the percentage. This is a level 1 problem. So if you get all of them right, you'll get 1 point. If you get 3 of them right, you'll get 0.75 points. If you get 2 right, you'll get 0.5 points. If you get 1 right, you'll get 0.25 points. And if you get none right, then you'll get a 0, right? You can submit, so if you submit and you don't get all of them right, then you can come back and try again, right? You have up to 7 times to get your code corrected, right? A lot of times, what will happen if someone doesn't pass is maybe your code didn't account for negative numbers, and I put negative numbers down here, right? So you've got to think about all the possible inputs, because I'm not going to give you all the possible inputs in the example. You have to think about them as well. I'm not trying to trick you, but I do want you to think about all the ways that your code can be tested, and that's how I'll test it here. All right, so let me code this up and give you this example here. So this is MATLAB Grader. It will help, honestly, if you have 2 windows, or 2 monitors, you could split here. I've already brought MATLAB up. You could split this here. That would work if you want to code here. So I'll split it. That way you can sort of see that. You can split your screen this way. I split I'm using a PC, so I split the screen by selecting the screen, and if you hit the Windows button and hit the arrow key, if you hit down and around, you can split the screen. So I don't know what it is, or if you even have this feature on Mac. So if I put my cursor here in my window, hit the Windows button, the little button with the Windows on it, and hit left or right, it will split the screen. So that might be a feature you guys didn't know about. Either that, or I can just flip back and forth between the two. All right, so I've created a folder for summer 2022. I've created a folder for challenge. I've created a folder for homework, and I've created a subfolder for homework 1. Right, and then so I'm in that current folder. I want to do a new, let's do a new function and use the template that's here. All right, so this is the function template. I'm going to change it. I only have 1 output, so I'll call that output. I'll call it sum is the name of a function. I'll call it res for results. The name of this function has to be sum up. It's the name of the function. It was required by the function definition here, or the problem definition there. So I'll call this sum up. It's case sensitive, so that matters, so pay attention to that. And I get in 4 numbers. I'm just going to give them names input variables A, B, C, and D. And then I could put a summary up there, but I'm not going to do that here for this example. Or I will. Let's be complete here. Takes in 4 numbers and returns the sum of all of the numbers. Okay, good enough. All right, and then now I want to write my code. So I'll put result equals A plus B plus C plus D. Right, the spaces in here are not needed. I just do that so that you can see it a little bit better. And I'll put a semicolon here because I want to suppress that. All right, and I will save this file save as sum up, because the name of the function and the name of the file have to be the same. So I save it, and if you look here in my current folder, I now have sum up. Okay, now I can copy and paste this. So I'm going to copy and paste this over here. Now I could do a couple of things. I can test this over here in MATLAB. So if I bring up my command window, right, I can drag and copy the example from MATLAB Grader, paste that. Oh no, didn't work. Hold up, just a second. Maybe I can't copy and paste it. Let's see. Right click. Oh no, you can't copy from MATLAB Grader. Maybe you can copy from down here. Doesn't look like you can. Hold up. Copy, Control C. Yeah, if you come down here in the code to call function, you can copy this code. For some reason you can't copy up here the examples, but I can copy this down here into my command window. Since I've defined SumUp, then in my command window, I'm in that current folder. If I copy that there, I run it, I get an answer. It's 14. That was the answer I got up here. So I'm feeling good about this. Right? I can copy the next one, paste it over here. 16. All right. All right. Feeling like my code's pretty good. Copy over here, paste that. 73. That's looking good. Let's say, oh, well, I don't have any negative numbers. Maybe he'll give me some negative numbers in the evaluation test. So let me put negative 10 in here. And let's see, does that look good? 4 plus 56 is 60, plus 3 is 63, minus 10 is 53. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm feeling that my code's working pretty well, right? So now I'll go back here to my code and I will copy and paste it over here into the function button, into the function box, I'm sorry, in MATLAB Grader. Paste that there. So now my function's there. So I've effectively just, I'm getting ready to turn in my function. Now, I just tested it by copying the test cases here over into MATLAB. I could just as easily have just copied my code over here and then hit the run function button. And what it will do is run my code versus these, my code now will be called by these 3 lines. And so I get 14, 16, and 73, which looks right because it's the same as I got up here, right? So I'm feeling good that my code's going to work. So you don't have to do it both ways. You don't have to take these examples, copying them into MATLAB, and then check it out, and take my function and copy it over, and then check it out. You can just do one or the other. But by copying stuff into MATLAB, if your function is not working properly, it gives you a little bit more flexibility. So just showing you both ways. However, when you get ready, when you feel like your function's good, copy and paste it over here into the function box. I would suggest that you run it over here. Okay. And then when you feel good about it, then, okay, I've tested it. I feel good about it. Now I'm going to submit it. So now here's where you turn in your homework, right? And when you turn it in, it will be instantly graded. And so I hit submit and it turns it in. And now you see I got all green boxes here. And I got 25% for each one. I got 100. So I got 100 on this problem, on this one. So this problem was worth 1 point. So I get 1 point. I only got 15 more points to go, right? Now let me show you if what happens if I get it wrong. So let's say if my code here, let's say I've forgotten to do that, right? So now I just hit submit once. That was 1 submit. I get 7, right? That was 1 out of 7, right? But if I do that and get the code wrong, let's say I run it. I don't have the right answers here, but let's say for some reason I thought I did have the right answer and I submitted. I want to show you what happens if you submit the wrong answer. So I hit submit here, and now I get the wrong answer, and it tells me the variable has incorrect value, right? So I get a Z. I would be getting a 0 on this. There are some cases when you submit, and like I said, you don't get them all wrong, but you don't get them all right. So you'll get 1, 2, or 3 wrong. And then that's how you do it. So I say, okay, oh, that's wrong. Let me come back, correct it, test it again, run function. I can hit this run function unlimited. I can do the run function unlimited. I only have 7 submits though, right? Once you get your submits all right, or you get as many right as you think you're going to get, then you're done. That's it. My homework is my homework for that problem has been turned in. I'm done. All right. And so that's how you do this, and keep track of which ones you solve and which ones you haven't solved. That way you can keep track of the points. And so you know immediately what your grade is on this homework. You don't need me to tell you. You know exactly how many test cases you got right on each problem, and you can calculate your homework from there, right? All right, I think that's all you need for a tutorial. Good luck on your first homework assignment. Once again, you can share ideas with people, but you cannot share code. This thing will check to see if people are turning in the same exact code, right? And then I will be notified. So please don't do that. Turn in your own code, make an honest effort to learn this, and you will learn it. All right, there you go. I think that's it for this video. Good luck. Go Jackets.